Satchidanand mean? Jai means victory, Satchidanand is our own self. So victory to our perpetual pure self. And if you elaborate it, then Sat Chit Anand, Sat means that which is perpetual, Chit has the quality of perceiving and knowing, and Anand relates to bliss. So victory to that perpetual pure soul which has the quality of perceiving and knowing, and by its very nature it is blissful. Okay, more. We can see from this seminar that, in fact, I enjoyed a lot. I really enjoyed a lot. We feel that the way we are conducting this on regular basis and the kind of participation what we are getting from different people, it is really very good, and we feel that if it reaches to people, it's going to help them a lot. Eventually it is going to help us a lot, because it gives us opportunity to express ourselves, what we have learned, what we have known, what we have understood from our master. So I expect some questions. If you have any for more clarification, please come forward.
Dear. You had mentioned that we need to be more mindful about everything. We need to be mindful about everything and see everything as it is. That's such a tall order. If we can do that for everything, that will be wonderful. But how can we? I mean, little more explanation will help.
You can say that, how do we live our life? We have this power of perception through the five senses. Okay, so let's take an instance of we are eating. If you are not mindful while you are eating, in the sense that you are also watching your cell phone, maybe you are reading the text or reading the newspaper,
watching TV,
or watching television, then see, your attention, your focus is not on eating, not on tasting the food, because it is only your tongue which has the power to taste. It only knows what is being eaten, and based on that the signal will be received by our inner machinery, and it will work based on that. Now, because of that lack of information, the body is not going to function properly. In fact, the master has said that one who eats like this is inviting diseases, fatal diseases. So why do you want to do that? When you are eating, you focus on eating only. Same way, when you are working, let's say these kids are studying, then it is said that when you are doing anything with full focus, you will take very little time and you will do more work. But normally what we see and experience, we take more time doing little work. So our time management also improves drastically. So mindfulness, they have been talking about mindfulness a lot. You can watch so many YouTube videos and all that. So that's the importance of mindfulness. Because by very nature, we have the power of perception and knowledge. And if we are not using that, then what are we doing? Right. And the second thing was viewing as it is, seeing things as it is. The biggest problem of our life is we are not able to see things that happen around us in a balanced way. So seeing as it is relates to the fact that seeing the thing as they are, not by our viewpoint. So seeing things as it is means to see things with totally impartially as they are. As per holistic vision, whatever we see around, we see so many different people, we see that they are different. But the holistic vision sees everyone as one. So this effort with which, even in these differences, you see singularity, oneness, that is the outcome or the benefit of this vision, inner science. And when I have that, I won't have those differences. And when I don't have those differences, I can manage, handle, and live my life wonderfully with everyone.
Very nice, thank you. But you gave that simple example. See, Swamiji, you gave that simple example of eating. In those small actions, I never have problem. It is in challenging situations, seeing things as it is, because mind is already worried, disturbed, or angry, or it doesn't matter how many mixed emotions. That time, seeing as it is becomes very hard. So, what do you suggest?
So, wherever you fail to see as it is,
But I don't know that I am failing. I am
there
already.
are enough indications to know that whether you have surpassed that situation in a balanced way or you are disturbed. The moment your cheerfulness, your happiness goes, then you are not seen as it is. You can just recollect the way that lady, Bhavna, the way she expressed her experience. She went a little down when she talked about her only son, but she was quite stable, if you could see. If you could see that very well, that is commendable. Otherwise, even after 40 years, 50 years, if a mother talks about her only son, she will just like break down. But she was quite balanced. That shows that she used this science in a perfect way. And all credit goes to her husband also, that he prepared her while going from there. Okay, so this is the indication. Okay.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to just expand on that. Seeing it as it is, and I'd like to speak to you a little bit about my experience seeing it as it was. And that is that those were the facts. It was what it was. Isabella had this condition. Acceptance was number one priority. Number two, have faith that whatever it was going to be destined to be, it was going to be. I cannot change that. So acceptance. And number three also, comparing what is now and the different challenges and sufferings to what faith gives us and what awaits for us in the afterlife. That thought helps deal with the present time, the very moment. So how can I be sad when I know that the afterlife supposedly is a better place? And I truly believe that it is a better place. So my only job is to just continue looking forward, because it is what it is. It was what it was. And so I am simply grateful for the experience. Not sad, grateful.
Thank you.
So, I have a question. How did you apply holistic approach to all this positive
Way of living the life of Isabella?
Start again.
Okay, so how did you apply the holistic way of living?
the entire time period while Isabella was going through this?
Well, the holistic approach that I took was acceptance and deep faith. And when I say to stay in the moment, I mean enjoying those years, or days or years, whatever it was going to be, to truly make them count. And when I really saw her in the present moment, living really life to the fullest, with that zest for life, I had to handle and follow her lead. That's how I handled it.
Thank you. I have a question for Peter.
Yes.
You mentioned that you had this wonderful years with your sibling.
Yeah, 14.
14,
Wonderful.
14 wonderful years. And we have this holistic in us, but we're not able to share that with our sibling. So how did Isabel give you that, how did she approach that holistic into you, and how did you both share each other's?
My sister?
Yes.
Well, first of all, the nice thing about Isabel passing on is that now she doesn't have to go grocery shopping anymore. It's a lot easier after you go to the other life. And Isabel and I were always intertwined. First of all, I know one thing: when I was born, I could feel being in my mother's womb before I was born in the physical after the 9 months. And I was very oddly awake, so surprisingly awoken by a wonderful movie called Awake by Yogananda. And the first thing they do is start talking about, he talks about he felt being in his mother's womb. And I said, Mom, you know, I've been feeling that all my life. In 1969, when my mother was watching Armstrong land on the moon, I felt that. I felt that she always had her sisters and women around her, and I was still in her womb, and all of these I felt. Now, when I was born, at the same time, I was told by another woman this week that she used to be one of those caretakers for when the baby's born. Well, as soon as the baby's born, there's the body, but within a few seconds, then all of a sudden there was this, the baby's awake. So that's the moment that the soul or the spirit went in. My point is saying that I knew that I chose my mother and my father as my parents, and I knew that I had a destiny to be a part of my sister's life, to serve her as this very loving, very caring, very protective and compassionate young boy, to be there with him. And together we were intertwined right from the beginning, and I knew that was going to happen. The first 2 years I wasn't aware of that, but she became a part of that, and together we became one. And it was the we and me together as one, and accepting as in her will that she would go on, and I accepted it as well. So for me, that was a real true sense of peace.
Thank you.
One second.
This question is for Deepakananji. Mr. John. How can we be sincere to ourselves?
How can we?
Sincere to ourselves.
Okay. See, first thing, you are a mother. So when you fulfill your duty as a perfect mother, how would you know that? No complaints, no reaction from children. You are mother-in-law. So no complaint, no problem with your daughter-in-law. Okay. Now you are a citizen of America. You live as per the law, so you are a perfect citizen of America. What it means, whatever understanding with which you are living, all these functionality of your life, you remain perfect in that. So you are playing your part as a part of the drama perfectly. Okay, you are also a follower of Dada Bhagwan, this holistic science group. So now, are you following the principle? And if you are following the principle, you are always at peace with yourself. And whenever you deal with anyone, you don't have a problem. So these are the indications that you are following your life, you are sincere to yourself. As it is said, our life is a drama, live drama. So no hangover effects of yours is going to help you play your part nicely. And with this science, with this inner understanding, you will be able to come out of all these hangover effects, all these emotional effects, psychological effects. Not only that, you will be able to live your life perfectly as needed by the situation. And effectively remain undisturbed, unaffected in all the situations of your life, and also you are effective at the same time. Whatever way you are needed, you are there. So this is where your sincerity is counted.
Sometimes, some of the situation, or maybe most of the time, sometimes some of emotions, situation cannot remain calm, and you do feel a little anxiety or anger. At that moment, you become Rekha, you're not yourself, it's a pure soul. So after you go back and, recall the situation, and we try to do pratikrama and, but I would like to see more like how can you attain and remain calm in this, some with a closer family.
One thing is there, we are in the process of making. So you will definitely come across situations wherein little disturbance will come, you get shaken up a little bit. But there is one thing very clear, that separateness never goes. If you say you become one with Rekha, then do you get separated out afterwards? If you got separated, then you did not become one with Rekha. Because if you become one with Rekha, someone needs to separate it out. Okay, so the truth is you never become one with Rekha, but the nearness effect is there. That is all the problem. And when you recollect afterwards, when the things have subsided, you clear yourself with that understanding and you resolve and you settle the differences. All the effects that had come to you, you get the right understanding and you come out of it.
Okay. I have a second question. Yesterday in seminar, if I recall correctly, you said that disturbing nature, like you have mentioned that plants, animals, and they do not disturb nature, they live a very perfect life. But the human being, we disturb nature through our opinions or through our thoughts. So how can I correct? Or what is my part?
See, the very feeling of hurting others, only humans have this kind of feeling. Animals, they don't want to hurt anyone. Only when they are hungry, they eat. That's it. Otherwise, so many animals are around, so many things are around, they don't disturb anybody. But we, because under the potent influence of greed, pride, possessiveness, we cannot remain calm, we cannot remain natural. So we want, it's like if someone else is having something, you feel that I should be having that. Right? So that is where we are creating disturbance into the nature. And in fact, effectively, you are only getting hurt because it is coming back to you.
Okay.
Anybody else? It's on, I think.
Yeah, again, it comes down to what he's saying, the whole cause and effect. So you transcend the karmic destiny through forgiveness. So again, how important it is to forgive yourself and forgive others. So.
We have time for one last question, please.
I could add to what you said earlier about nature. We are destroying nature, the environment problem. And the human beings are the only ones, we destroyed Mother Earth, which gave us birth. We come from that, and which sustains us, and we are the only ones who are destroying. So we are destroying the harmony between nature, and that is why we are suffering. It is coming back to us, what you said. You know, but I do have a question after your comment, if you are adding to it.
Well, yeah, nature has been destroyed, yes, but the United States, of all countries, is aware of that more than anyone else. And so what it comes down to is this, is the United States will also be the leaders to change that. California is always one of the states. So the saying goes, what you need to learn the most, you can teach the best. So the United States have pillaged more so and polluted in nature more than any other country in the world, and they're aware of that. So they're changing that now. And so because of that, they will be the leaders of transforming a country that is developed to still maintaining nature. And they know that. It's not happening right now, but you can see the little steps that have been happening in California, in Washington State, everywhere, whether it's the salmon, the fisheries. So they are becoming the leaders of transforming environments and having governments more involved in maintaining the environment. You can see that with all the current new presidents and so forth, that there's more resistance to anything that's just based on GDP. It's also based on how does it affect the environment and our and the future children of our generation. So America's the leader and will be in the future for the environment, because they're aware of what they've done.
You do realize this is, as we speak, this is being relayed on Canadian TV. So coming from
Perfect,
Canadian,
yes.
what you just said.
So true. Yeah. Well, Canada, remember, Canada is just another part of the rest of the world and the United States.
Thank you for saying that. Now, Mike, may I ask a question now?
Okay.
Okay. You did say that we are all innocent and no one is at fault. You did say that. But you know, when I was asking you about my question about giving a speech and it was my fault, remember we discussed in detail. So, so how can it be Asha's fault when Asha didn't make any mistake in giving that lecture? And now on the other hand, you are saying we are all innocent and no one is at fault. So
I
aren't you?
never said that. You probably read between the lines, heard between the lines. We are not innocent. If we were innocent, I will never have to feel hurt by any situation. The very fact that, in spite of the fact I know that I haven't done anything wrong and I feel hurt, that is where my mistake is there. You should have that inner confidence. Although you may have to do something to pacify or satisfy the other person, but in your inner understanding, you will not consider yourself at fault.
Thank
You
you.
understand? But still, the outside requirement you have to fulfill to pacify the other person. Did you get it?
Vivekanand, we got one more question from a lady.
One more.
No,
Hold on.
let him.
Oh, that's okay. And also, when you think about it in a humorous way, I had someone say, and I love it, says, you know, I'm an angel, says, and I have a halo. Says, you know how I hold that halo? Says, no. Says, but to the two horns that I have that hold my halo. In a humorous way, saying that she understands both sides of her nature and accepts both sides of her nature. And that in doing so, she's allowed to be more of who she is with others, because she can accept the parts that aren't so good with the parts that are good, instead of just trying to be something that everyone wants her to be. She then can allow herself to be both and say, this is the parts that I need to work on, which are my horns, but at the same time is a part of me that is sweet and innocent, but that's the halo. So it's the balance. We're all in work in progress, and that progress is about enjoying the progress. And so every lesson that we're all going through is exactly the same, only the scenario, the drama, or the opera is completely different. So we all have to go through betrayal, we all have to go through hurt and pain, we all go through struggles in order to reach enlightenment. We go from chaos to choose peace. We all go through this, but with different stories for all of us. But the principles behind the holistic science and so forth is the same. The principles behind our experience are the same. because they're universal lessons that we're all learning, but with a different story.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
There's one last question here.
any more
Can you
questions?
hear me?
There's one last question.
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this is my first time here, so I really don't have the depth of knowledge of what is this practice about. But just whatever I understood today, based on that, I see that it's leading us to look for the life in harmony, and also giving us the idea of quality of life. If I'm wrong, you can correct me. And so, and also at the same time, I'm asking a question is, since I came here today and I kind of getting the idea, and liking the idea, and I want to know more about it, and how do I kind of inspire anybody else in the family, including my husband, to come and experience this?
It's like you let this thing work in you. When it changes you, they will definitely be inspired, and they will ask you what has brought this change in you. And then you don't have to bring them, they will just follow you.
My feeling is working together will make
Yeah,
things
it will
better.
take little time. It's like you can try telling them that I've come across this truth and they are really doing good, and this is how it has helped me. Would you like to join? And you may take some literature from here and pass on to them. So if that, I mean, if they are happy with it, they can come then.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Holistic inner science learning is the continuous process in our life. It continually goes on and it never ends. And the reason being that so much ignorance is embedded in our thinking, and that's why we continuously make mistakes and blunders. And this is where holistic inner science that we are learning through Dada Bhagwan has put together, and that changes slowly our life. And it shows, it gets you the inner insight, the how am I, who am I, why I'm doing it such a way, rather than we were always looking exteriorly, outside, that the other person is responsible for my misery. That's what we learn. But actually, we are responsible for our own. This is what we are learning here, and this is continuous process. You've been a very good audience, and I thank very much for our panel of speakers. Thank you very much for coming a long way from Canada. Serafino, thank you very much for sharing your experience. And Swami Deepakananji, thank you very much. You always come and you inspire us with all your knowledge and your closeness with Bhagwan. And in our group, the new star is coming up, is Sailesh Vakil. I'd like to be a part of our organization and come to get the message across. Dada Bhagwan's holistic inner science can be very instrumental. So thank you very much for 2 days experience, and we hope to meet again in a similar situation. Thank you. And I also thank the entire team of our holistic science, the young group that have put together in such a short time. And you saw that wonderful experience everyone shared with us. And one person, the Manan, where is he? come over here and inspire everyone with the chanting that you did just for a couple of minutes. So that will leave the thoughts in everybody's mind. And maybe, hopefully, you will inspire everyone to experiment on themselves.
Yes.
Shailesh can help me, he has an incredible voice. Okay, just for, we'll do for what? You want to do for 2 minutes? Okay, 2 minutes if everybody can. 5 minutes? Okay. So 5 minutes, everybody can close their eyes.
Just close your eyes and try to read the words, what we are singing.
And read it in
Okay,
English.
that's all you have to do. Nothing else.
That's,
No, you don't have to block everything, just let yourself go.
If you have it in writing, you can put it on the.
English or Gujarati, either one, Hindi, whatever language, and then if you can clap
Pretty
also.
simple.
Clap as well, that would also help.
दादा भगवान ना सिम जय जयकार हो दादा भगवान ना सिम जय जयकार हो दादा भगवान ना सिम जय जयकार हो दादा भगवान ना सिम जय दादा भगवान ना सिम जय जयकार हो दादा भगवान ना सिम जय जयकार हो दादा भगवान ना सिम जय जयकार हो दादा भगवान ना सिम जय जयकार दादा भगवान ना सिम जय जयकार हो दादा भगवान ना सिम जय जयकार हो दादा भगवान ना सिम जय जयकार हो दादा भगवान ना सिम जय जयकार दादा भगवान ना असीम जय जयकार हो 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 दादा भगवान ना असीम जय जयकार हो
Satchidanand, and dinner is going to be served. So please, all the guests, go in the line first, and then the rest of the members of our group. And those who haven't filled out the evaluation sheets, please fill out, so that gives us a direction in planning the future seminar.